Oh, he's back.
Fuck.
Hope you wash your hands.
Hey?
Hope you washed your hands. Right, here we go then. Let's get going. We are back for a post-season, pre-season redaction. Let's have a little look at what we missed during Christmas and looking forward to the draft. So Matt's back. You all right, Matt?
Evening.
And we're joined by Alix, who's managed to get some time along with us. How you doing, Alix?
Yeah, good. Thanks for having me back. Good to be here.
Oh, always a pleasure, never a chore. Right, so we thought we'd kick off almost where we left off, which was the capitulation of the it's not capitulation really, was it? But it was a serious dose of special teams pie handed to the Stampede.
Palmer, is that the right word?
I think karma is the word that should be associated with this season for you, in all honesty, Matt.
Yeah, so it all ended for Matt in week 13. The Magpies come visiting the black hole and managed to do a number on you, Matt. So it's a bit of a surprise for you.
No, because I played them in week 2. I played them in, and then I'd only beaten by not much, admittedly away, but I was at home. But they had what did they have? 2 return TDs, and I didn't get a shot in overtime either, which is even more annoying. So
Should win the toss, mate.
well, I don't know.
Surely your motivation coach should count towards that.
What, screaming
think
at
so,
the ref
wouldn't
from the sideline?
I think so, wouldn't you? I don't know. I think it's time we brought in modern overtime rules. Modern overtime playoff rules.
That's a debate for a live draft. I mean, you get the gutting thing from your
There's
point of
a
view.
live draft first, Alex.
Yeah, that's fair. For Wasson to put up 305 yards and come out the tail end of that losing, that's that's a humdinger.
To be honest, if I game planned it again, I won't run the ball. I just throw it. I ran the ball too many times. Ran the ball 29 times there. So if I'd thrown it another 10 times, I probably would have been closer. Maybe, I don't know. Who knows?
So was that you resorting back to like what the Stampede do best, or did you look at the Magpies and think I can run all over them?
I actually thought I might catch him out because 4D hadn't really been playing. It'd been Angel, whatever he'd been
Most
playing.
people say Angel, but we can call him Angle if you want.
Well, whatever. I don't care. He's a backup next year anyway, so who cares? Available for trade if anybody wants an old running back. I don't know.
You're not selling him, mate.
Well, I can't sell a fucking level 22 corner, so we'll see. Yeah.
Well, that's just Henry's career making him look average, unfortunately. So.
No, I just don't think anybody wants to pay for a level 22 corner.
Depends what they think you're wanting paid for it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I had one offer, and let's just say I wasn't overly happy about it.
Yeah. So this was one of these games. There was quite a few in the playoffs, I think, where we saw some ridiculous numbers on returners, didn't we? So
Brooke just did a number on us.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
But we made sure he couldn't play in the final, though. So it's both ways.
Yeah, because he got a punt return and a kick return for a TD.
And he had another long one as well. He had a couple of. I think he had another one that was like about 80-yard return as well, something crazy. He didn't. I don't think that went. I think we stopped it at the 10 or something crazy. But aye,
Yeah, there's
it
some
is what
crazy
it is.
numbers.
The dice didn't work for us this week.
Yep, that's for sure. All right, okay. So that, but it did do one thing that it did confirm that Johnny had been watching your games and that he's also still watching, he's still watching the redaction because it managed to get him out and let us know that he's been watching it and going, oh, that was beautiful to watch Matt be so confident about his special teams and then getting done by the special teams. So
I nearly spat my tea out when I read that one. I was chuckling along to that because I thought that at the time that Matt had been very, very confident. So to see this was very much like bit of egg on your face, but Matt's taking it in his stride. He's like, oh well, next time.
I like to play the pantomime villain. Who gives a shit?
absolutely.
If only we were in a pantomime, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, you get used to playing the pantomime villain when you're a Rough Riders coach in the Big Sky, don't you, Matt?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you have a reputation to uphold once you leave that league, and everyone still thinks you're the villain. Right, yeah. So that was the end of Stampede for season 39. And let's have a quick look at the bowl, shall we? Because the Razorbacks managed to get their back-to-back with this one.
Turnovers.
Yeah.
Such a clean game from the Razorbacks.
It was. I mean, they've got something for all the zones, really, haven't they?
Yeah.
Raymond doing the business, and then, I mean, you got Lowe, who I think it's like his second season, setting another highest scoring season as well. So lots of finishes for the Razorbacks.
Well, what was interesting is halfway through the playoffs, Dan said you're looking to trade out the stars at the end of the season, end of the postseason, and then he won the game, and then that message disappeared, and then I think he's going for third now.
3 peats on the cards.
Yeah. I think he took it all and went, nah, I think this team will be good enough.
Yeah.
Did you overly injure the Magpies' run defense in your game, Matt, or
No, I just killed the returner. The returner
just the
had a G.
returner? Because in your game, you've got a strong running game. Like it's one of the Stampede staples.
Not as strong as it used to be.
Oh, okay.
I'll be honest, it's nowhere near what it used to be.
Right, okay.
There you go.
Stampede's just shit. There we go. We'll leave it at that and move on. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, if I was running the ball, I would have level 22, 21 back. At the moment, I ain't got anywhere close to that.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah,
I mean, you can see two of the ones I played this year are on the board. You know, they're both, Angels level 16, Polus is level 16. So, serviceable. They'll get you 3 or 4 yards if you need it, but they're not typical Hamilton running back. The team isn't a typical Hamilton team at the moment. So we will get back to running one day.
Right. So I've built a D line to stop the run for no reason. Brilliant.
Yeah, I know.
That might be a mistake.
I know. Almost like I looked at your team, Alix, and went, "Oh, what should I do?"
Yeah. And I was looking at your team, so I just got outplayed. Oh well. This is fine. It's fine.
The philosophy all changed for me when I drafted Galloway in that draft.
I mean,
I never had a leader 3 quarterback before, so that's why I switched it to more passing orientated.
That's fair.
But what I will say is That fucking worked. I ain't won a bowl yet, so
You want to get some tips from Dan.
yeah. But what's he doing? He's running the ball.
Mm-hmm. Well,
So
no, that's the
so
point.
what-
He's not just running the ball. He's got a bit of everything.
I don't know. I'd argue 1900 yards if he's running the ball.
Well, obviously, but I think he's got a strong supporting cast in all areas of. Well, that's what it looks like from the outside looking in. Anyway, you're right. The running game is kind of the staple for this.
Yeah,
But well played, Dan. Well played.
Yeah, and he's slightly different to what seems to be with a lot of them, a lot of the other teams at the moment, which is the run flat and in the deep zone. But he has got has he got the this one? Yeah, so there's a standard issue tight end in ace.
Yep.
Strong elite tight end that he has there.
Which are
See.
rare as teeth. Not the ace tight end, the strong fucking tight ends. Strong tight end.
I traded mine away.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
Yeah.
It
There
was a
ain't many
mistake.
strong, there ain't many strong tight ends in the fucking Atlantic at the moment. Fucking draft's awful again for them.
Yeah, but like, you're right, but I wanted the run game to supplement the deep zone game, so I wanted to focus mainly on the deep zone game, which is why I wasn't overly fussed about the strong tight end. I thought I'd had something that was serviceable. He's not really helped that much.
Three rarest positions in gridiron: strong tight end, nickel corner, returner.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Well, I've been the last 8-9 seasons at least, anyway.
But that's why I took in when I took that tight end, the strong tight end. That's why I took him where I took him in the draft. Quite well, it wasn't high up, but it was middle of the first. Just because he had ace and he would have been, he would have been good. But Kendall persuaded me. I'm happy. He's happy. Job's a good one. I still think you can build around if you are committed to a deep zone or a techie tight end, I think they can do a decent job in the slots. Your run game's always going to suffer a little bit, but then make your other positions in the trenches that much better to support him, that the tight end isn't as much of a problem. If that makes sense.
So I think there'll be a lot of teams not running tight ends in the near future because fucking there's no tight ends in the draft at all. It's so rare now to find a fucking tight end that's even decent, whether it be in tech or strong. Quick ones are a waste of fucking space anyway. So,
Jog on.
No one should take those. You should have traded that one out, Alex.
Yeah, if only I'd had someone offer me, the chance to trade out, and then I'd backed out immediately before they'd even made an offer, Greg?
Yeah, exactly. It would have been all right. But yeah, so Dan gets his second back-to-back. He got his back-to-back in the Continental as well. So
Well played.
if we ever get back down to Bristol and Dan turns up, he's going to be getting a party bag of
so what do we call? What do we call? There must be a name for going for a double three-peat. What's the word? Word for that?
I don't know.
Definitely not the Kansas
double
City.
Big Mac.
Definitely not the Kansas City Chiefs, is it?
A Mega Mac.
No.
Should we don it the Mega Mac?
Yeah,
as if you're bringing the Chiefs up in this room.
I fucking hate the Chiefs. I'm a Raiders fan, so.
Yeah.
I'm a Seahawks fan. I don't care about anybody really.
I don't know if anybody else has ever done a double three-peat. So we'll have to call it the Dan Buster or something like that.
The Dan Buster.
If he manages it.
Yeah, I like that. That's
a good one.
Good for that. Good for that.
That's a good one.
Good for that.
Right. Okay. So he's up for the three-peat and the Dam Buster. Right, so next thing we were going to have a little look at is who's coming back, because we've had no hats this time around, and
Despite me
also,
asking for it, yeah.
yeah, well, you know, you've not filled out the triplicate form, Matt, and
Your
you know,
approval was denied.
yeah, you got to do sound bites, then do a bug report, and then do an ask me another question.
Technically, he did leave it as a comment in the call for commissioners as well. So, you know.
Oh, he's
I
done
did
it
it
triplicate.
twice.
Okay.
He's done it twice. He didn't bug it, though. That's his problem. He's not bugged it.
No, I didn't bug it.
Oh,
It's not
there we
really a
go.
bug. I just want to know who's actually playing, so I don't have to send them an email about a trade.
Yeah, it's well, that's bullshit, really, isn't it? It's you know, because let's face it, you know, even if everyone signs up, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be trading with them. So who do we? So we know Bob's going, right? We know Bob's gone. We know.
Yeah.
He's
Steve
gone.
announced it for before the end of the season for the Generals, so
That's
Steve's
right.
gone.
Steve's gone. Bob's gone.
Razor a caretaker.
Thanks for the memories. Yeah, Rich is a caretaker, so he's gone but could come back. Just one of them.
Or is he going to stay
One
there?
more
Stay
year.
there, Rich.
One more year.
Stay there.
One more year.
Just want to say Rich has done a fantastic job at caretaker this time along.
Yeah.
I mean, the disgrace this season has been how successful Nick has tried to be as a caretaker in another league. It's just disgusting watching a caretaker go to the conference game, actually with the audacity that he thought he could make it to a bowl game as well. Just disgraceful. Just thought it was disgraceful, really. Terrible behaviour. But Rich has
Well, you
done
know,
an
he was aiming
outstanding.
for 5 and 5. He just overshot it.
Well, yeah, it's. I think he thought he was only going to get an 0 and 9 in, or a 1 and 9 in this league, so he wanted to compensate, didn't he, by getting a decent record in another league. But
Again, it was in the big. I want it. So does it really count anyway?
All right, we will not have bad words said about the Big Sky. All right,
no, exactly.
wonderful coaches in the Big Sky. Back off.
Do you think, Matt, that what he was actually trying to do was get to the bowl so he could experience what it's like to lose to Conrad before Conrad arrives here and smashes him for 10 seasons on the bounce or something like that? Do you think?
Oh,
Well, possibly so. I think we might have avoided Conrad for one more season with him winning again. So, which is probably quite good if Johnny.
One more year.
Good if Johnny has left the Avalanche. I don't fancy Conrad in my division particularly. Don't mind him in the conference, but not in the division.
do you think Johnny? So you think Johnny's gone?
I think Johnny's gone. Well, based on what he's said in the comments all season, yes, I think he's gone.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you wanted to leave though, because I saw some comments about you wouldn't mind going back to the Continental, but then Continental's done a couple of some coaches have gone and some others have come in, so and he wasn't one of those being talked about there, so I don't know if he's wanted to go back.
I think the Avalanche are in a lot better position than he was expecting as the season's gone on, and I think almost definitely one more year at least, because I think it would mean so much. Well, I think he just wants to bring you down, just burn the Stampede to the ground.
Well, he could do if he wants to, but he's got no chance.
There it is. I wonder why he wants to.
Yeah.
I just want to pick you both off while this little in-house battle's going on as well.
Oh dear.
Plus, I don't know. It's getting to that. It's getting to that kind of time as well, where actually, you know, a lot of the players that are probably building up are ones that he's drafted or traded in or whatever it may be. So you know, that was a strong team he took over from
Simon
Wood, and but it probably still had kind of like, you know, Simon's stamp on it. So you know, he might be getting to that point now where it feels like it's his team, and he might start getting a little bit of a attachment to the way they're playing, because they played different this season than they had done for the previous 4 seasons. So you could see there was a shift.
Well,
Was
he
it
brought
best
that level
passing
20.
team in the league by the end?
Well, he brought that level 20 wide receiver in, didn't he? In the off season as well. Did he get off? Was that off Jez? I can't remember who it was. He brought a level 20 wide receiver in anyway.
His passing game was insane.
Yeah.
It's just unstoppable. Which is really glad I invested in that strong D line again.
Well, absolutely. Yeah. If you
Damn
build it, they will run. So,
well, you know, now I'm praying for them to run. I'm like, please, just run, please. Else this is a real waste of what I've got going on here.
yeah.
Oh dear.
So the CFC East, I don't think anything's going to change there.
No, I think that'll remain.
Well, Gary's put up a trade board, Nick's put up a trade board, Dave's going nowhere, and Rob's put a trade board up. So,
yeah. So we've got one change in the north, one change in the south potentially, and we're still unsure about the CFC West side of things. MSC East, we know Bob's gone. I think Alix is sticking around for another season. Yeah.
Not heard anything.
Yeah. Jason. Now Jason, I don't know if this is just the way Jason plays, where he kind of like he comes in really excited to get going and then he just disappears. I don't know if I don't know if he's in there for the season or what. I don't know. But it was another 0-10 for him this time around.
After they'd looked like they were improving the year before as well. That was the thing. And then they've gone backwards again, big time.
Yeah.
It depends. I suppose it depends what you. Maybe you didn't like the way they'd coached. It's hard without knowing what's happened in the season. You know, we've had our coaching problems this year, Greg. So we know what it's like when some of those players that you're like, hang on, this might not have gone the direction I was expecting. But you know, we still had decent seasons. So maybe with Jason, whilst last season he looked like he was going somewhere, by the end of it, it was like aging and the way the season is going, it's like, no. And this season he's just committed to the throw, just not as well as what James did.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I mean, there's turning up and coaching it just not going your way, and then there's just the is he turning up and coaching bit at all? Just don't know really.
No, I mean he's unreachable for any trade conversation at the minute because he's got no email address. So
yeah,
could be he's just at turn of the year not being able to get on or something. I don't know. But you're right.
What I do like about it though is consistently for the past 3, maybe 4 seasons, first game of the season, predictions league. He comes in, he makes the prediction that he's going to win the first game of the season. He loses it, and he doesn't do it anymore. So he finishes every season with -1. It's like,
that's a beautiful tradition. That is a beautiful tradition.
Yeah,
I mean, I would have obviously won the predictions if I didn't keep backing the Sharks every week, but you know, I just let myself down with that one, didn't I?
Nobody was beating the king of predictions this season, unfortunately, Alex.
No, you lot are really annoying at it. You're really good at it. It's almost like you've got a lot of practice at it.
It's almost like we're spending a bit of time having a look at things.
Yeah.
So I don't know who's coming back in the. Well, I think James is definitely coming back in the MFC North. Michael is always because he's done some trades, hasn't he?
No. Michael's not doing anything.
James has.
James has. Yeah. He's doing trade with me.
So James is
talking to the man he's trading with. Like,
exactly.
Yeah, we're discussing a trade as we speak. As we speak, we're discussing a trade.
Another one.
Deadline! It's deadline day. We might have a live one go through.
Matt trying to get the one off him.
To be honest, I've got about 3 going through at the moment, so who knows?
I didn't even know the trading had opened. You know,
I did wonder where my offer was for the safety. You know, I was wondering when you were going to come on for him.
I've peaked. I'm not going to lie. I've peaked. I got the 3. I'm happy. So I'm probably there may be some trade moves. I don't know, but I'm content right now.
Oh,
There's a D. Apparently, there's a D line available. Everybody, if you want to trade it,
If you want to stop a run game, I might have some
Alix
options
has
for
got
you
a couple.
because I don't need to worry about the run.
Who needs a big wall when everyone's running around the outside of it anyway?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so I don't know if Michael's back because I never know whether he is in and out until last second.
He could have missed the deadline for the last 8 weeks because he wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, and I don't even know about Brad, to be honest, because
That was the one I was going to throw up as a wild card, actually.
Yeah, because he was quite absent through the last postseason, coming in late, getting players named and things like that. And I dropped him a message, and he did get back to me. But again, it didn't feel like he was fully tapped in this season as well.
That'd be a shame to see Brad go, because I think that the Redcoat Spitfires is going to be fun to watch over the next few seasons.
Oh yeah, it's always been fun. When Conrad was there, it was always a good little battle, and then with Brad there as well, it's always been good when we've not been rebuilding. But yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if Michael may sign up, but that's no guarantee that he's actually going to be in for the season. So MSC South, Jez is back, Ian's back, Aid's back, Fred's back. So
yeah,
that's a full division.
Fred's making moves as well.
He is indeed, yeah. And MSC West, I have full
Ain't nobody
confidence.
leaving that.
No, absolutely. It's
far too much fun going on in that division.
Yeah, it's going to be some fireworks down in the MFC West, I think, this coming season. So how many does that make you? Because you've been touting 5 to 6, Matt. But
I still think 5 to 6. Well, we got. I mean, the other one is Martin Benson. Not heard a thing from him.
No, he's stay. I think he'll stay.
I'm sure he will, but not heard anything. So you got Stingrays, Avalanche, Generals. That's 3 on the CFC, and then Redcoats, Meerkats, Comets are gone, so that's a definite 4. And then 5 or 6, I still think.
Yeah,
I'm going 4 tops.
Yeah, I think
it's
4.
more than normal. Let's go with that. It's more than normal.
But that's a fair. That's already the case, isn't it? With 2 spaces,
No, you usually get 2 a season.
I suppose we had 3. Did we have 3 last off season?
Well, that was a long time ago.
We got Tad and Todd. When I came in,
well, that's it. You might have another rage quit during the draft this time because we'll go another online draft. So it could be at least one more rage quit in the season.
Yeah, but it's not one of you two hosting it this time, so I doubt there'll be much rage quitting. Be smooth as anything. I think you caused people to quit last time.
Yeah, I have no problem with Tad doing it. I only did it last season because I didn't want it to just end up being fucking nobody doing an online draft. So
no, I'm joking, mate. You did a really good job.
I was fucking useless at a computer. I don't know how I fucking did it, to be honest.
Why do you think Greg
Why do you think Greg does all the editing?
Yeah. Yeah, no, in-safe hands with Tad. So the only other thing is obviously with the sad news of Cole passing away, there's a space up in the GFL. So that would be another space potentially coming straight from the Atlantic.
Yeah.
So that would be considered a move away from the airlock into the GFL as well. So we could have 4 that aren't signing up or aren't signed up, but we could also have 1 who has signed up who might be shifting as well. So Dan could be a strong contender for that with 2 back-to-backs. Johnny could be a contender for that because, although he's not managed to win the big one, he's been consistent since arriving. you never know. Clay might have got his timing right. 6 and 4 for the Kings. He's looking successful at the moment. So they might say, do you fancy going to GFL, Clay? Is everyone frozen? No? Okay.
I was waiting to see what Matt said.
But yeah, so someone's potentially going to shift up from the GFL. I mean, it could be Colin. I mean, Colin's had some solid seasons now, but whether he's thinking, I'm just about getting into
You
how
know
I want
what?
this.
Colin would make sense. Colin would make sense. If I was Dan, I'd got offered it. I'd say no because I'd be going for the fucking.
Yeah, you want a Dan Buster, don't you? So
No, I nobody's gonna. Why would you give up on a 3-peat? How often does it come along?
I agree with the Colin and the Johnny ones. I think Dan, I agree. I think the temptation of the 3-peat and how far ahead his team is, I think at the minute, is I'd probably see him stick around. But it is tempting to go. I think Johnny deserves a shot with that since he's taken over the Avalanche, he's put his print on it, and back to back post seasons is fantastic. And what Colin does with the way he approaches each of his teams as well. I mean, if it wasn't for Conrad, the big sky would be his. It is just literally he's come up against Conrad and the Rivets. And he's doing the same with the Heroes. The Heroes are looking really, really good. So, yeah, he deserves a shot. So, I think you're right. There's quite a few. But, I mean, there could be other coaches around the league that deserve the shot as well. We don't know. But that's just from within the Atlantic.
Yeah.
What I would say is that Colin's strategy of draft is very GFL orientated.
And I think it's for me, it's the how different he approaches his teams. They are very different. You don't see tech running backs do what Colin gets tech running backs to do in many leagues. Well, I've not seen them. So, fair play. He approaches it differently.
Yeah, definitely. I was just going to say, I hope that someone else from a different league gets a chance to go to the GFL because, why you got to come through the Atlantic?
Yeah, we'll keep it as is.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing, right? We're gonna, we're talking about 4 coaches going. I mean, that's the equivalent of a whole division just gone, and that's quite a, disturbance in the force. And so just putting another one in there, going, oh well, it's got to come from the Atlantic, for no real reason apart from, well, we just decided that was the way it would be to protect the GFL from, I don't know, coaches giving the GFL a go and then not really committing to it. I don't think that matters. I don't think that's sound logic from what we've seen. So I hope someone from the B to the E gets the opportunity to get into the GFL.
Or I'll take it on, but I'm sticking with this Stampede as well.
There's no chance of that happening. So
I know there isn't. Don't give me 2 teams. I might win 2 things.
You wouldn't.
That's the full.
No, I'd lose it. I'd get murdered by special teams in the semis. Yeah.
Exactly. Your special teams aren't as good as their special teams. We found that out.
Moving to the GFL and getting an affinity team in the Atlantic. That's a full Thanos affinity teams move. That is.
Yeah. That's
We'd have to get your gold gloves sorted out for that one, Matt. But yeah. Right, okay. So potentially 4 going, maybe 5, maybe 6. Who knows? But anyway, we know there's definitely some coaches definitely gone.
Should know in 2.5 weeks' time because that's when the first round of the draft is, isn't it?
Maybe. We'll see.
Somebody's got a draft for him.
He didn't even know the trade window was open, so he ain't got a clue what's going on, does he?
No, exactly.
He's only just put his Christmas decorations away, so
When's the draft? Right. So now we were gonna have a little look at the draft, weren't we? Pick me.
I mean, you were going to see him for the first time, so we get to see a live reaction.
It's amazing. So, like I said, I haven't really had a chance to get my usual kind of setup going. We do have a little board here with some blank spots.
Have I got to find what?
Yeah, I think you might have to, because I can't. I need a fifth screen to be able to look at that at the same time as this.
You want to know? You want to know who's drafting? What position?
Who's going first? Yeah, we can have a little look at that.
I got them all.
We can get that one up here on here. So, Outlaws, Cyclones, Warriors.
No.
All right.
The Sharks.
Oh, it's gone to the Sharks. Jeez, I really did miss everything. How much did you pay for that one then, Alex?
Well, I got the 9th pick off the Rapiers, so I traded the 9th and the 20th for the 3rd.
Okay.
Which I'm very happy with.
Yeah, that was around about the same price as. Was that around about the same price as like the first overall last season? I can't remember what Clay did. With first.
I think so. I don't know.
Clay, if you want to hear more breaking news, Clays are also traded into the top 10. He paid more than what Alix paid to move to number 3.
Oh dear.
Okay.
So
he's at
6. He paid
6.
2 first and a second.
Yeah.
2 first and a second for 6th. Okay.
But
right.
I mean, I had the 9th and the 20th, so Todd still remains in the top 10, and I personally think there's still some decent talent in the top 10 of the draft. So
yeah, it does feel weaker though, doesn't it?
This is what Matt said.
Yeah, I don't think the top 10 is very good at all. I think there's a top.
Really?
I think the top 5 are good. I think there's a considerable drop off from 5 through to 20, which is why I was at 14 or 15 and I traded back down because I couldn't seem to get a decent player.
Yeah. I mean, just looking at the past 2 drafts.
Not a lot of qualities in the draft either.
There's there's less elites than there has been for the past 2.
2 of them are
qualities.
top level.
Is it?
It just if you base it against those 2 and look at it from that perspective, it looks weaker.
Okay.
There are there's a couple of centre class looks a little bit stronger than it has done for the past couple of seasons.
I think the centre class is excellent. Yeah.
Yeah, top end of it's nice, but again,
only 3 good ones.
Drops off. Yeah.
3 good ones.
But then you've got the likes of, I don't know. Where's my short list? I've done a short list of. I don't know what.
He says he's not prepared. Look at this.
So these are based on what I think are kind of in my mind. I haven't run this through. There's probably people looking at this going, "Let me just check my spreadsheet." No, he's got nothing wrong. And this is just.
I'm looking at mine. I'm like, really?
Yeah, this is just pure off eye bringing them in, Qs, leads, and some decent journeymen in.
Mine is literally just a predictive one that just roughly where the way I do it is just I just want to see roughly where this, based on historical data, thinks they would be drafted, and then I play it around with it in my head what ones I prefer, and then I have my short list of targets that I want for each position, and each position in the draft, not position per se.
Yeah. So yeah, those 2 centres like right up there. A couple of the tight ends up in the sort of 10-11 position. Offensive tackles class seemed really poor compared to previous, because there's not. I think the only 65 Q I'd seen in there was a level 3. So without Dev Squad, everyone's going to be looking at that going, "Oh, that's terrible." But with Dev Squad, people are going, "Not too bad."
I think he's fantastic. I know he's 60, But you know me, Dev Squad man. I don't want any Dev Squad this year, by the way. I'm really hoping I can have a year away from Dev Squad. It's
You're the only
tired.
person I think, and you could take an OT who is 35Q and have him 65Q by the end of the season, Alex. You're the only coach I think it's possible to do that.
It's not like that. That makes it sound like I've got shenanigans going on in the background. I definitely couldn't start on 35 and get him to 65.
No,
There'd be a strong 50 by the time I was done with that, I reckon.
But it was one of these classes as well, because with the elites, the one that I had the big question about is where would that running back go? Because he's only level 4.
Yeah.
He's perfect QST.
Yeah.
But he's elite and he's one of 4 in this for me. So
he's the one on mine. It's predicted him as 5th, and I'm like the 4 is just the level 4 really impacts him. Has he got scouting on him?
It might do.
No, nobody scouted him either. So it's not even like someone could get a steal with an elite level 6. That's a tough one. That's going to be a real tough one. But I think it comes that I always think back to what Todd said last year of sometimes a player comes along where you're just like, that's the player I'm having because that's the player who fits what I want to do. And, levels be damned, I'll get them to what I want. So I think he'll still go relatively high just because of the elite.
Such a risk because I think I shared this story before. I took an elite OT years ago who was level 3. I took him in the top. I think I took him 10th. He fucking lost a level and fucking rookie agent. He started at level 2. You lose a level on that as a rookie agent. You don't want to draft a fucking level 3 in round 1, even if he's elite.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
He's not going to be the value of a quality. He's basically, at best, he's going to be level 13, 14 by the end of 2 elite seasons, which is the same value as a quality player, basically. And you spent 2 seasons coaching him instead of 1.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's always a risk. But there have been coaches you've seen take. Who was the guy who did it for the Bulldogs? Ian in the Big Sky when he took that level 2 60s running back. Took a few seasons, but he was lethal. So but I don't know. And again, they're a little bit out of fashion. 60s fullbacks. So I don't know.
Yeah, a little bit.
But this RB9.
I'm hoping they come back relatively quickly. Just please, that'd be good.
Yeah, RB9.
Look at that. Yeah, he's got some attributes there, isn't he?
I could see Todd taking out with his first pick in the first round, wherever that is right now.
Yeah. Well, he's got pick 9, and I could see him going at pick 9 for that very reason that I thought exactly the same as what you did just then. Was like that's that.
Yeah, because he we're talking about it earlier about this for me is someone probably looking at this going, how can I make sure I beat Colin to that running back?
Yeah.
Yeah, because his attributes he's got as well.
Yeah.
The attributes for that type of running back are pretty much perfect.
Yeah.
So he's got the sticky hands and he's got the good hands as well. So
and resilient.
Getting all the bonuses for a tech RB, a running quarterback with a Valve tech running back.
Yep.
Just sounds like a perfect chaos for confusing the fuck. I mean, Matt, you look like you're confused already, thinking about trying to play against it. So
I'd actually put Todd down for a returner. I'd put him down for the best returner.
I don't think so. Not at 9, because there's two good ones that are arguably first round. But then Todd took 4 last 5, 6, 7 last time, so he may immediately just pick
special teams. Todd loves special teams. Todd still got 2 fucking first round picks. I think he has.
Yeah,
from
yeah, yeah.
memory.
He's got the 9th and the 20th. So,
But
And he's
Todd,
got to beat, and he's got to beat Tad to him as well. So he's gonna have to take him early.
but Todd was drafting last time on a round on like I'm not really going to be focused on building this team up, so I'll have a look at the special teams now.
yeah.
You know, so yeah, R2 looks like the best in show there, but R1's not far behind. I don't I
They,
I
they'll all
can't
do
see
a
it.
job.
Oh yeah, but
I could see you taking Returner at 9.
but it's where can you find that player that fits the the system you want to play
Yep.
that aren't the ones that you normally see that often, and that's the
Yeah.
bit he likes to go
Yeah.
for, and he doesn't care if it looks like a stupid draft choice, because if that's what he wants to make sure he's got, he'll do it. And that
He did it with the
running
QB
back,
in the draft, didn't
yeah, that running back has it written all over it.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, so yeah, but it's not
he?
bad class.
I'm of exactly the same thinking. I think that's something that Todd would like, and I think if he holds on to 9, I could see that. And Colin doesn't jump ahead of him, because we could end up in a Tad Todd Colin battle for that player, because it's the only one really that's worth it in that style. Yeah, I could see Todd taking that one as well.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure Todd's played that kind of system as well in one of the other leagues, so it's not unfamiliar territory for him as well. So so he's drafted out of 3. Where did he draft down to?
So earliest would be 9,
9.
which is
Warriors.
the Rapier's pick.
Okay, and then does he come back in?
20. He's got my
20.
one.
So he's got 2 picks before the
Mm-hmm.
Heroes, right?
Yep.
Yeah, they're coming in at 29.
You could take the returner, then take him at 20 if you're that desperate to get him. Personally, I wouldn't touch him till round 5, but that's me.
That's where I value him as well, but we don't play. Yeah, like you said, we don't play that.
Yeah.
So, in fact, to be honest, I'm even convinced I'd take him in round 5, to be honest. But
Yeah. So Snow Bears traded back into 8 because Anacondas had that, didn't they? So they've traded back into 8. Warriors have the 9th. Comets, that's going to be unless. No, I think it's caretaker coaches, isn't it, to get through the drafts. So that pick is going to be untouchable.
I think so.
Warriors will be
same for the generals as well.
Depends if new coaches come in, and so I mean,
no,
I would hope.
They just said caretakers up for, so I don't know. It just didn't feel like. Well, I don't know. Maybe they will. Maybe they won't. I don't know. How long
That's
they got? 3 weeks.
2.5 weeks to get somebody in, but I don't know. Depends if anybody wants to move up to the Atlantic.
I'm only basing it on the statement that they said, which was the draft. The teams will be looked after by caretakers in the draft. That was the statement. So unless, like you said, someone says, "Look, I'd really like to jump in. Can I get it before the draft?" and maybe that changed something, but we don't know. But I think I'm thinking along the lines of it's caretaker for those that are open at the minute.
Yeah.
I'd rather have permanent coaches than caretakers, personally.
Yeah, I understand that sentiment.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean they might find the coaches and move them up, and then they'll probably caretake their existing team through the drafts, maybe. So who knows? We'll see. But again, numbers wise, they might be struggling to find people to fill holes. So Outlaws drafting first. So who do we think they're going to take? who's that dream player that is going to be the Outlaws franchise?
It will be the elite wide receiver because they are getting rid of their tech
wide receiver 6.
Yeah.
Grand pass.
Yeah.
Yeah. This fella here, isn't it? Yeah.
Yep. Who is a standout player that you can build around.
Yeah. Yeah. Only thing that I would say around that is that they are common. So the only thing for me is, and again through a rebuild, I'm kind of like, do I want to go defense first, build my defense because I'm gonna have a lot of time on the pitch, and then I'll go for stacking out my offense later. But you know, he's a sound pick, but inside linebacker Andor's not too bad either. And like I was saying earlier, the centers have just been terrible past few drafts.
It's the upfront.
They even though they are quality, they are, from what I can see here, like gold dust.
So I don't know. I think center is a tough one. It depends. I suppose it depends what James is building, really, and we'll know. Like, if he takes the wide receiver, then he's going deep zone. If he takes the center, then he's probably looking run game first ahead of deep zone. If he's in like complete refresh build, I think the inside linebacker is brilliant. I think he's I agree that he could arguably be the number one over ground pass. I think it's between the two on that one, and I don't think either are wrong.
Or does he take mint cake? Do you value peripheral vision over a quality professional vision over an elite?
I would. I don't know how. Well, we know how impactful it is because we've got studies all over the place of peripheral from people. We've got Johnny's interview he did when he left of how important he felt peripheral was. I think it is up there, but ground pass is effectively what Henty Career was, and I know how good Henty Career is for me, and he doesn't have peripheral. So it's not the do-all and end-all, but it can, if you really want to go deep zone, having peripheral would be a brilliant addition, basically. So I don't think he'll go. I don't know. I don't know. Any one of those three, Grand Pass and/or Mint Cake, could go number one.
Yep.
Watch this. He'll go for McCarthy first now, and he'll be like, right, okay, well, that's just out the window.
Yep.
No.
Who knows?
If you're going to go for the quality, you trade down. Even if you only trade down to 4. Because the top 3 is pretty fucking obvious, I would think. I could be wrong, but I think the top 3 are miles ahead of everyone else.
I agree.
I think he would trade down if he wanted to, and he's shown no. I've been speaking to him. He's shown no interest in. Showed no. No, not interest. I haven't even asked. Showed no inclination. Showed no inclination to be selling pick 1. Let's put it like that. Although he's in Costa Rica at the moment, so hope you don't mind me saying. He's in Costa Rica at the moment. So.
Well, at least he's
You're
not
weakening his position. So
at least he's not trying to dial into a draft from Costa Rica.
okay.
Hiding in his car.
Better than hiding. Yeah.
I think what we can all agree on is that I don't think he can go wrong with that first pick. Really, there's a couple of different directions he can go with it, and I suppose that's why I think this is a strong draft. I get what you two are saying. I think the top 20 players are still decent in this. I suppose there's not as many as what there were last year and maybe the year before, where you maybe had 30 25 players who were really good. So maybe that's what it is, or maybe it's a positional thing. Because I haven't really broken down to like how important positions might be based on some of these. So maybe that's what it is.
I would think, looking at what I looked at, I think you'll see a high number of journeymen go in the mid to late first round this year, which is very rare. Usually you see about 5 or 6 journeymen go. It's all quality, they're elite. I think you'll see a lot more journeymen go in the first round.
Yeah.
Is that just because of the high number of, like looking at the wide receivers, there's quite a few short zone wide receivers, and is it because
no,
there's
it's not even
more?
that. It just isn't the number of quality players there this year with the good QSTs and the high levels. There isn't the same volume as there usually is.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'll be honest. I've only analysed the first and top end of the second round at the moment. I've not even gone any further than that at the moment.
Yeah.
But
I've looked at the top 10. That's it. Really,
So
I've not gone much further than the top 10 in my. I was looking at.
Look, there's a lot of qualities down here, but we're talking a couple of quarterbacks, low
they're
level
around.
wide
They're around
receivers.
late three, early threes, aren't they?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah,
You don't want to be taking
absolutely.
that in the first. You don't want to be taking that in the first.
Yeah,
You might do, but you don't want to be taking that in the first.
yeah. So looking, even just kind of taking a little glance across, we've got 1 to 30 there. You can see lots of gaps down the right-hand side here of we're getting into
Yeah.
J-men looking slightly more attractive than the
I'll
qualities
be
that are
honest,
down
on
the
that
bottom
list there, you've got more on there than I have. I've got even more journeymen on mine at the moment.
Yeah, and this is probably, I haven't spent much time on it, but normally when I build my shortlist out, I'll just bring the elites on, then I'll bring the qualities on, and I'll have a little play around with that, and then I'll start looking at, let's bring the J-men on at a high level, play around with those, and then bring on some other lower level qualities or things like that. So um, that's probably why there's a massive chunk of queues down here, because these were the ones that I'm like, they're qualities, but they're not higher level ones. So
They're qualities with a butt next to them, basically.
yeah,
Yeah.
they, someone, if they can hold fire long enough, is probably got something that's scouted in that pack. So if they take them at the round where you look at them, you go, they're probably third, fourth, fifth. If they can hold till that point of view and trade and actually draft them on the level they are, not the level they could be, then there's some potential bargains that people are going to get from their scouting rounds this time around, I should think.
Yeah.
As well. So it should be, even though it doesn't look great, lower level or lower rounds, I'm sure there's going to be some people there going, I'm going to pick up this level 4 and he's going to be a level 6 guaranteed. Got my front office manager in, boom, 2 levels. I'll have some of that, and I might get some aging. So you might see some people getting some good action down that end. Okay, so we've got the wide receiver goes number 1, then we've got the Cyclones going number 2.
I think they're going inside linebacker.
Yes.
Yeah, and if it's just an auto pick, that would probably be the strongest player that it would take in that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I've got the inside linebacker as picked. Like he's the best in class for me.
Yeah.
I think the player, the wide receivers are situational, but like that inside linebacker, like you said, you can build a defense around that, and he will be a very, very good player. And looking at what the Cyclones did last year, he took a wide receiver in the first pick 5 and then a wide receiver in the second pick 5. So I think he'd maybe wait a bit for a wide receiver again.
Unless he sets his shortlist up, which
Yeah.
is just looking at the wide receivers first again, and then he'll take a wide receiver again.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, inside linebacker would be a nice pick. but I don't want to spend more time on this than he may spend on actually putting his shortlist together. So what do we think's going in round in pick number 3 then? So that would be what would that be?
Yeah,
What
I
would
wonder,
that
I
be,
wonder, I
Alex?
wonder who that is.
Are you hoping? Are you maybe hoping that shortlist is set up incorrectly, and you can just go, "Oh my god, at 3, I'm taking the IB."
I mean, if I get that IB at 3, I'll be a happy lad.
Yeah, it's not one of those ones that if it drops, you're like, "Oh, but I really wanted this one, and I thought I wouldn't have to make that choice."
I mean, if it comes down to one of the wide receivers and the IB dropping to me, and I have to make a choice, I will have to think long and hard, because
Only got a minute.
Yeah, well, unless you're doing it, then I got a bit more time.
True.
I could make a cup of tea. But like, no, it's having Henty career and another amazing wide receiver with Dev Squad Stu could be the dream, and could set me up, because Henty career is going into his 3rd year, so having another wide receiver that's 3 years behind him, that could just set me up long term on the offense. But then I've really heavily invested in the offense, and my defense was a big problem last year. So, the logical choice would be to go for the IB. But I mean, if Mint Cake or Grand Pass are there, I don't know if I can Grand Pass that up. So we'll have to see how the board plays. You either get an elite wide receiver with perfect QSTs for what I want to play, or a quality wide receiver with near perfect QSTs and peripheral and safe hands. So it's kind of like win, win, and win. That's why I really wanted to get when I knew it was available with Todd, I really pushed for it, because I was like, that would be, it would set the Sharks up very well, I think. So yeah, I can't even sit here and say that I'm definitely hoping the IB drops. I'll be happy either way.
You're getting a good player.
Basically.
That's basically where you're trading into 3. You're happy with any of the 3 players.
Yep.
Either a couple of receivers or the IB. You're happy either way.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's still some, like I said, I think there's some sneaky good players later on as well. Like there's another wide receiver with peripheral vision in there, but he's 3 levels lower. So it's
that wide receiver 7 that's going to convert to a corner.
I think I'd take that as a corner personally.
Yeah, I think
it's actually nickel done, right? That's just nickel. And then anybody who plays short zone they're going to have real problems playing on you with a nickel.
It's one of the rarest positions, and it's fucking got peripheral vision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect QST.
That's one of those ones you think, oh, actually, could you flick to a 4-2 nickel back with that player? Because actually, would that give you enough on the short zone? But then you're playing against a lot of deep zone teams, so you've got your other CBs set up for the deep zone. Does that give you enough? You don't have to worry about an IB. You've got a 4-man line. It feels.
I've used it, so I started shifting when I was with the Generals in the Big Sky. I started shifting to a 3-3 nickelback, and I had a short zone nickelback in that one, a short zone corner, and it really did make an impact on the short zone game. And he wasn't even like near perfect. I think he was something like level 12, maybe 13, with 65 tech, but it just made such a difference on the short game. It really impacted the short game, teams trying to pass. I mean, I had a decent middle linebacker as well, so I accompanied it. A middle linebacker and the nickelback were kind of controlling that area. It wasn't perfect by any means, because like I said, the levels weren't all there, but I think that player could really, really hit that short zone really hard. And then it'd be interesting seeing what the peripheral does in that.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the cornerbacks in the top 10 on a lot of the leagues for interceptions, they're all pretty much sitting there with the perf attributes. So
Yeah.
it would appear that it helps a bit. So
Yeah. He was a player I was looking at if I was staying at 9. I was really interested in him because I think there's something about him I really like. So I think someone's going to get, and he's on my board. He's around pick 19. Obviously that's not how it's going to play out, but that's where he's kind of generated as predicted to be taken.
Yeah.
But I suppose this doesn't take into account like secondary position cornerback. So
yeah, because we've got Stingrays picking next. So again, that's probably maybe still caretaker coach, maybe.
yeah. But those centers I think are going to be around the 4, the 5. You've got the 2 centers, the running back that I just don't know what to think about, the level 4 perfect QST running back. I don't know what to think about that guy.
Yeah. I think if he drops to 5, and if Michael is tapped in, he could take him because he has taken that kind of level at an elite QST, perfect QST. He has taken those in the past.
Yeah. And then 2 years later, you see him at the Stampede.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
For a 5th.
Well, like we talked about just before we started, you've already got the feeder league, the feeder team set up for the Stampede coming to college now. Now that Clown College is set up in the GCA. Right, so 4th and 5th. Do you have the centres around about there then, Matt?
I had, because obviously I had the top 3 we discussed, basically in any order. And I had, forgot what I put there. I had tight end 1 4th.
Ooh, tight end 1, yeah, and 5.
Yeah.
And 5, I had RB10. Is that the which one's RB10?
Yeah, RB10 is
true.
Yeah, that is the level 4 elite running back. So
And
tight
then more importantly, I can't wait to talk about the Kings pick at 6 because they've got the. I believe the Kings will end up with SF10. We know Clay loves the safety.
SF10. Okay,
Yeah,
right.
the elite safety.
Yeah, it's a toss up between SF10 and SF1. But yeah, so let's have a look at tight end 1. So we were talking about draft class, so let's have a look at the tight end class. Well, you can see from my selection criteria, I'm thinking this is pretty thin.
Yeah.
Ropey. Nothing. There's one strong tight end at level 3.
It's 2.
Is there a second one?
Yeah, the one 9 and 11 are pretty similar.
Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah. 9 and 11.
Old field, and then the non.
But starting at level
15,
3, that's a slog.
and it's not only that, they need to go on the development squad. So it's fine if you want to put one on a development squad, but I think both need to go on there, really.
Yeah.
It hasn't even got like just a little attribute in there just to kind of make you think, oh, maybe, a little AC1, little
See,
Pro
AC1 would have been like, okay, maybe.
Somebody will take a gamble on him and take him late 3rd or early 4th. One of them.
Yeah.
But still, it doesn't get me very excited. Tight end class has been poor for a number of seasons. So
again, stop. Just leave him alone. I took a very good quick one last year, and he's happy, and he's very good. Probably, if I can ever make them work, I don't know. And Jed's got the other one that I had scouted, so because there were 2.
Yeah. So 2 techs, and that's pretty much it in this class, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, tight end 4, another quick one, but again, that could be, I don't know, a third rounder maybe.
It does make me laugh about those two, the two best in the draft, the techs, and you got Jez trying to get rid of a tech, and his comment is the only two decent tech tight ends in this draft. And it's like, yeah, they're pretty high picks. They're pretty good. Going
But
to
it's
struggle
Jez,
getting rid of that one.
Well, yeah, he will, because Jez will want at least 3 firsts for him anyway.
Oof.
3 firsts, not at
Oof.
that age. Right.
Love you, Jez.
Oof.
All right, let's
It's a bit rich, Jez.
so we've got there's a little shifty at the tight end class then. Yeah, 10-11 there, but like I say, nothing really going on. The running back going at 5. So is it Clay at 6 now?
He's Clay at 6. That's why
Clay at 6.
he's traded it. He's traded into the pick 6, but he paid 2 firsts and a second to move up to pick 6.
Well, it's first next year, first this year.
Yeah,
So
the first next year. It's still more. He's paid more than what you've had to move up. To spots like.
I don't know. I think that's debatable.
I think you got the better value.
Considering
what you're going to pick, considering what you got a choice of picking, you got one of the top 3 players in the draft.
Yeah, I suppose.
For me,
Yeah,
there's a clear consensus that they are the top 3 picks by a long, long way in this draft.
I think for me, a top 10 pick is worth, is worth 2 firsts if I was going to value it, and then to get another first in this draft, where, like I said, this draft, you can see this draft, you know what you're getting. The problem with a season 41, you don't know what you don't know what that first is going to look like. It could be a top 25 pick in a terrible draft class. So it's all, as long as all managers are happy with what they've traded for, then it's hard arguing value, really, isn't it? Like I don't want to. I don't want to sit here.
It's all subjective.
Yeah.
I just find
Yeah.
it funny that Trey's played it into that pick, and I've got him predict to take a safety now, which is what he's known for taking in the first round.
I don't think he did. Did he do that last year? I don't think he did. He picked.
No, but
No,
we still can't forget.
It was the season before he took the safety and then traded him out. And then I just had a little look, and it was the OB.
Yeah.
And I've forgotten already. Was it the defensive end that he took? Let me just double check. So he took 2 defensive players. Oh no, CB Friars. So he took 2 elites. That's the thing, right? We've got elites 5 going at 12 last time around. We've got level 9 wide receiver elite, quarterback elite going 14, 15, elite going at 21.
Yes.
But
there he is.
There's not that depth this time around. But does he take another defensive player then based on that? I don't think he does. I think he's probably gonna be looking offense, right?
I think he's looking offense. Yeah.
I think he'll take an elite player. I think Clay values elite players over anything. If that's the only elite left in the draft, he'll take the elite.
Which is a fair argument. I didn't realise there were only 4 elites in the whole draft.
What he might do though is if the running back's still there, the fullback, he might take the fullback. And maybe he's open that maybe he's thinking the fullback will drop easily to 6 with him being the level. I don't know, and then he can pick an offensive player.
Yeah, no, that's sound reasoning. He may also be looking at that and thinking, do you know what? Level 8 quick wide receiver quality might drop based on the others that are there.
Possibly. Yeah. Because he is looking for a quick wide receiver on his trade board.
Yeah. He might even be looking at wide receiver 7 and going, "Oh, I have him as a wide receiver," because I think even at 6 pick with peripheral vision on that short zoner. Could be good.
Yeah, agreed.
But yeah, I mean, it is interesting because, like we were saying about the journeyman, level 9s coming in earlier for me because level 9s, the QSTs aren't too bad.
But you got that outside linebacker because he's only fucking decent outside linebacker in the draft. The outside linebacker class is awful.
Let's have a look at that one. Yeah.
Absolutely awful this year.
Oh no, is it? Oh bugger! Right, I might be changing pick 3 at this rate. Hold on.
Yeah,
But
no, it's absolute shocker.
I mean, a 70 strength linebacker, isn't the greatest. It's not normally a top 10 pick, but it could quite easily be a top 10 pick because it's the only one in the fucking draft.
Yeah, I mean, the 2 that I took 2 seasons ago were picks in the 20s, and that was an 80. That was a level 9 80S journeyman being taken in the 20s. And looking at this draft, you're thinking he could go early on the basis that that's about it.
Yeah. I mean, I could see Alix taking OB2 and sticking him on his squad for D squad for a while.
No, I need a break from dev squadding. I'm wasting so many coaching points. Oh dear, can't do it anymore. Watch me draft someone who desperately needs it, and I'm like, oh well, we're back on it.
God damn it!
Oh, what a shame! What a shame! Exeter's just missed a penalty. That's terrible. Terrible.
Right.
They're playing Forest. Forest
right,
are my Forest are my mum's team / my second team.
Right. Gotcha. It's not Tottenham today. Right.
Well, no.
So
They got knocked out again as usual, like everything else that they've played.
They did.
The culture to win again.
Yeah, my lad follows Aston Villa, so he was happy about that. Right. So where we got to 6, we think potentially safety or running back coming through.
I just thought it
wide
was
receiver.
Yeah. And then
So
7. I've got tight end 2, but I can't remember who 7 is. Who's 7?
7
Is it Michael?
Is caretaker coach for the Generals.
Yeah, Generals.
Or the Generals' new coach. And then we've got pick number 8 will be the Snow Bears.
I've got centre 1 for that, but only because I would think normally Aid would take a defender, but I couldn't see a defender without value at that point. In the draft.
Well, defensive, he needs if that OB's still there.
If that OB's there, maybe, but I went with the centre because didn't he draft a couple of running backs in the? Exeter's missed another penalty. Did he draft a couple of running backs? Sure, he did in the last draft. Could be wrong. I'm sure he drafted a couple of running backs.
Probably be easier if I can have a look in there, wouldn't it? Let's have a look.
No, not in the last one.
Oh no, it's wide receivers, wasn't it? Sorry, completely.
Yeah,
receivers. He took
an OB though, so he possibly doesn't need one.
He took 3 in season 38. If he was there in season 38, I can't remember. But there were 3 running backs taken then, of which 2 are still active.
Oh, sorry, it was the year before. Right, that's where I'm thinking it. Right.
Yeah.
So he took Thorne, who is the 60S. So, yeah.
That makes sense. Maybe I knew there was a running back somewhere.
Oh, he's got red zone grinder on that one as well. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So centre would work with that then.
That would work. Yeah. He took one in second last time around. Yeah. Maybe not.
That's quick. Yeah, no.
But the centres last year, there weren't much centres, was there? There was the trouble.
I got very lucky with my centre last year. I mean, he's 50 strength, but he levelled incredibly well. So
I thought you were going to say you put him on the D squad and he's at 60 strength again.
nah, my D squad was taken up. I had to deal with that Rodriguez lad. So I'd committed to 1 on the D squad. I thought about it, but I messaged. I spoke to Simon, my mentor, and I was like, "Can a 50 work?" And he was like, "You really need to get the levels up." But yeah, sure. So that's what I've done. I've got the levels up.
Yeah. Again, if there's heavy passing team, this one down here, centre 5 with the 60Q 35, he's another one that probably fits into a different kind of scheme with a bit of pass protection.
But he took two quick wide receivers, didn't he?
Yeah. So. No, that's not good. I don't think that'll go that high, but it'll be interesting to see where that goes. Probably round 2, I think.
Would he go with returner? No, I think that's too high for the returns.
No, I've still got a returner going to the Warriors at 9.
Yeah.
Okay, so Snow
Just
Bears.
a score, 1 on penalties.
Oh, did they? Oh, good. Happy for you. Right.
Well done.
Yeah,
congratulations.
I had nothing to do with it.
Right. Snow Bears then we thought would be maybe centre, and then we've got Todd coming back in at 9.
I've got returner 2.
Returner 2.
Oh, that running back. I think that running back.
You could take him at 20. But based on what Todd did last year, he took that quarterback as soon as he had the chance.
Yep.
Maybe, I don't know. Who knows?
I feel like Todd's made it clear that if it's the right player for what he wants to do, levels, reaching, whatever, be damned, doesn't mind, which is admirable. So, and I just think he can make that work.
Yep.
We'll be completely wrong now, and he'll go for OG1. Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah, should we put that down now? Let's go out there. I reckon he's going to take RB9, pick 9.
Yeah. Much to Matt's disgust, RB9 is going pick 9.
Yeah. And then that's why it would be pointless even trying to put a top 10 together, because after that it just falls apart, right? Because who would take that at pick number 9? And then we got the Comets picking at 10. So again, whether that's a coach or
I just put centre 2 for that, based on the scarcity of the thing.
What about defensive end 1?
Yeah, so I think if it was if there was no coach change, I definitely would be centre. He took the centre a couple of seasons before, and I think he's got that position filled. I don't think he'd take another one on the basis of maybe trading out the other one. Maybe, I don't know. So who would he take? I'm trying to think where he struggled last time around, what he was trying to do with that team, and whether a coach comes in and wants to do the same thing. It could everything. This is the other thing, right? We just don't know what people will come in and want to do with their teams.
Even a caretaker could just pick any. It could be whatever scheme they're used to running. They just pick it, and it might not fit with what they've actually got.
Yeah.
Don't know, do you?
Caretakers are normally, and I think maybe some come in thinking, oh, I've run this, but you want to leave a team in as good a position that
you can hand it over again.
You can hand it over, and that person can go, that doesn't fit, but I know I can get a good trade value. So you don't really want to be going too far out there and going, oh, do you know what? I'm going to put a quick OG in this team because I know that works in this scheme. If I were to stick here and run around with this thing, it's like someone else will come in and look at that and go, I have no idea what I'm going to do with that. Oh, and I want to trade it out, and someone will go, yeah, I'll give you a 6 for it. You know, it's not, you want to leave something solid behind, don't you? So, so yeah, I think it's going to be a solid QST
It could be the first journeyman
position.
at 10. Easily be the first journeyman with a good QST and a high level.
Could be,
Well, if that did we say that OB? I mean, could be that OB.
yeah, could be the OB, could be this tech wide receiver.
Strong safety.
Even this RB2, it's quality, 55S, maybe, I don't know. So yeah,
Yeah, if the Comets took a centre, even if it's a caretaker coming in, if they see a decent centre, then you'd be like, right, I'm not drafting that because you don't know that the person who comes in can get any trade value for that's going to hit the same. So they'll go for something like you said, the QST. So yeah, I'd lean more towards that way.
yeah, it's a tricky one. There's a lot of early picks sitting with teams that actually we just don't even know if they're there.
It is. Right. There's at least
Which,
four. There's at least four there. I reckon there's four there potentially. New coach, caretaker, God knows what.
yeah, auto pick.
In the Meerkats case, yes.
Yeah.
What did he end up with last year because we tried for.
We tried, and you know what? I had nothing. We had nothing back, and he didn't turn up for the following round. I wish we just auto picked it. We should have just given it. We should have given. In
I
my
know what you
opinion,
mean.
we should have given it to everybody. If it was turned up, should get everything. If you don't really put orders in, I don't think you should get anything. I'm sort of that opinion. Luckily, I'm not the commissioner this year, so that's up to Tad.
I know what you mean, but I don't like.
I think we did the
You wouldn't
first
give
2
people the
rounds,
benefit
didn't
of the doubt, don't you? Yeah, we
If it's
did.
somebody that's done it, it's so infrequent. But Michael's done it so many times that I have no sympathy anymore.
I mean, it reached a
People take
point
the
that
game,
even
people play
Rich
the
was
game a
saying,
different way, but
yeah, I suppose.
it sort of annoys me, to be honest.
Yeah.
Don't get annoyed.
I think
There's no
it too
point.
seriously sometimes on things like that.
But I mean, there's
Don't get-
nothing wrong with taking it serious, but just it don't
I'd
matter. Give
like,
everyone the
I'd
benefit of the
like
doubt.
the league. I'd like the league to be competitive. And there's some teams that are just not competitive and haven't been for donkey's years. If it was college, they'd be gone.
As long as they're having a good time. I want everyone to be happy in the Atlantic. I think we've got a fantastic community, so
Yeah.
I don't need your negativity, Matt. Leave it out.
Yeah, Matt. Yeah,
Yeah, Matt.
Yeah, Matt. Calm down. Calm
Jeez.
yourself. I think
It's
all you
arrogance.
see the way I interpret it though, Matt, is that what you're basically saying is this league, although we'd like it to be competitive, that's what every league wants, right? Is their league to be competitive.
But in theory, you want
we're in that same position where we've got coaches who aren't dialed in the same way that other leagues are. So why are we treated differently? It should just be flat structure. Atlantic down to the E. We're just trying to do the same thing, enjoy the game, and hopefully it's going to be as competitive as possible. And if anybody wants to go to the GFL, they can go to the GFL. But don't paint the picture that, Atlantic's, a tier, because I think we're in the same position as a lot of other leagues are. People come and go, and we've got to go through that churn that every other league has. So
you only have to look at. I mean, you have to look at the trade boards. there's probably only 16 coaches with trade boards. Now, I get some coaches don't trade. I get that. That's fine. That's their strategy to draft. But there's some that's just not active at all. It just drives me nuts.
Yeah.
I just wish we got 32 active coaches, but we haven't.
Yeah, but you see,
That would make
someone coming in this season, they'd look at the Spitfires and they go, "What's that coach doing?" Because they ain't seen him on the trade boards, haven't seen him doing anything. Because
I didn't say he was. I didn't say he was competitive. To be fair, Spitfire was not competitive, was he?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm sitting there at the moment. I literally got to my team yesterday or even this morning. Just sort of ran through what's my par look like, and I'm just thinking, do you know what? I just need to keep, my trade addiction. Just like try and keep it under control. Don't, level
Need
22
a
corner.
nicotine patch.
Yeah, level 22 cornerback. Boom, boom, boom.
You can't afford him. You can't afford him. You ain't got the picks for him. Yeah.
And anybody who wants to trade for that cornerback, just I'll send you over Henty Chris stats versus that cornerback, and then you can lower the price a little bit.
I definitely don't have the picks for him, but I've got the players that you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
So
we can have a chat then.
There's always things other than picks, right? But it's like I am sitting there going, I've got all that. I could probably have that. But then I'm thinking, what do I want a level 22, age 6 cornerback for this team? It just doesn't work with where I need to be.
Well, you wanted to win a bowl, Greg. Well, you wanted to win a bowl.
Dude,
you haven't, and you've had that player on your board, so.
Dude,
but as Greg has already said, I can't coach defense. He said this completely. He says I can't. Now, somebody that can actually coach defense could probably do something a bit better with a level 22 cornerback than me. He doesn't give a shit
there's
about
no point me bringing him in then. But yeah, it is one of those ones where it's kind of like, well, I'm setting this team. This team has a complete reset, and I could quite easily blow that up completely by just burning out my picks on a couple of like high-level ones, like I did last time around, hoping that someone would blow the Snow Bears up and leave me in that position to go, this is my side of the league. But they didn't, and I missed it, and things aged out quicker than they should have done. So I just got to keep my balance and try and not get tempted too much by potentially sexy looking players on trade boards with coaches who want 3 first rounders plus for something that's aging out.
I actually haven't said I want 3 first rounders for him. I've not said a price.
No, I know you haven't, but
I'd rather actually, in all seriousness, if I was getting rid of him, I don't think anybody will come in for him. I'd rather swap him out for players, to be honest.
Yeah, and this is the thing, right? I think the way that trading has gone in the Atlantic over the past few seasons is there isn't much need for people to be coming in and going, we need all of, it's definitely got to be picks, or it's, it feels different than it did maybe 8 or 9 seasons ago, where it was still that kind of like high churn, let's knock some mad prices out. Things seem to have kind of settled and calmed down a little bit. But the four potential coaches leaving change that. Who knows?
Probably not this window. Now, after the draft could be manic.
Yeah.
Or if it's not 4 caretakers, it's 4 permanent coaches. Potentially, could be all sorts going on. Or they might all take a look at it and go, "Oh, I'll think about this for a season, and we'll look at it next season."
Yeah.
It depends how confident they are as well when they come in. I think you have to have a real, like, you have to be like, this is how I'm playing. I'm playing like this, and there's no other way I'm going to play. I'm not going to give this a chance. I want this. And then you come in, look at your squad. What have I got? What do I need? Brilliant. Here we go. Have your trade prices in your head of what you want and what you're happy with, and then off you go to the races. And I think for a new coach, like, I couldn't do that when I came in with the Sharks, like, because, well, I didn't have anything worth trading, to be honest. It was very poor. So, but I had to figure out that it kind of benefited me because it was a blank canvas. I could go any direction. And I think that might be, it really depends on the situations they go into. For me, like, if someone gets the Avalanche, I think they've got a brilliant blueprint of a team, and they could just run with that and then trade in some players. Like, I was expecting this offseason to trade in high-level players rather than be looking at the draft, because I kind of feel like, I think this is probably where Greg's thinking as well, is like you reach a certain point and you're like, okay, if I want to push now, I've done all this coaching to this point, I need pieces rather than picks. But I saw what was in the draft and I was like, well, actually, maybe I can forgo that maybe a season and look to next year for that. But yeah, it depends what they come into and what their plan, if they have a plan. Some people just come in there like, I'm going to see how it goes with what's there. Blow the Avalanche up is basically what I'm saying. Someone come in and, if Johnny goes, blow it up. I want that second place.
Yeah, and then probably Dave's going, oh, please don't blow it up because I'm blowing up at the moment. I don't need you coming up at the same point in time. But you can't, like you can't take that position because I tried it, but you're never going to be able to get to a point where you go, it doesn't feel like anybody's rebuilding. If I go now, I'll pick different time, because it is just continually churning change. So yeah, suck it and see. But
I think you just have a plan in your head, don't you? You have a time, like you asked me 2 seasons ago, when did I think that I'd be in a winning position? And I was aiming for this year. And last year went better than I was expecting. A lot better than I was expecting. So I'm really excited for this season upcoming, because there's even more levels and there's even more growth. And then hopefully if I bring in the right pieces, I can really make that push. So, but then, like, now I'm in this position, I don't ever want to blow up again. I just want to churn in the right players at the right time and try and keep it going. And then if it all comes together at once, maybe get to a bowl. But I just want to be in the postseason as many years as possible for myself.
And a lot of the time, once you get there, it will come down to your schedule, because both me and you had fourth place schedules last time around, so that worked out well for me, because again, some of those teams that were, because you're always going to get your fourth place playing a first place, and if you're fourth place and you're playing a first place that's got to that point where they go, I need to change things, you're going to have a better chance. So I got Jez at that moment where he's like, oh, I'm going to have to go in a different direction in my offense, and I'm on the road. Gave me an opportunity there. I got first place schedule this time around, so I'm going to be coming into the last 2 games this time, smashing into the Razorbacks and the Nighthawks, because the Nighthawks threw their season so they could have a fourth place schedule. So luckily it's late in the season, so maybe you find out a little bit around how they're going and that, but it's still like, I know he's not a fourth place team.
Yeah, my fourth place schedule didn't work out that great. I mean, I had the Magpies, the Stampede, the Avalanche.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I got a win against the Generals, which was the one I wasn't sure what way it would go. That was the only one I was a bit 50-50 on. But yeah, like, when you're in a strong division, it doesn't matter what schedule you got. You have to put something up against arguably two of the best 2 teams in the divisions, in the conference, in the league every time. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you look at the MSC North there, Red Coats didn't have a great season, but I got the Meerkats and the Outlaws. And they're, you know, James is just rebuilding, Meerkats are just meerkatting. So, you know, you can always look at those and think, well, okay, there's 3 games I'm hopefully got wins against because that's where they are. But MFC West, the only saving grace for a lot of us with those teams is someone might come on and snatch #1 seed off of those because they're just kicking lumps out of each other in the division.
Yeah.
As
Yeah,
they
I mean,
do.
didn't Kendall go on like a 7-game win streak or a 6-game win streak? He lost like his first 2, then he switched up. He switched up something.
Yeah, possibly. What was it last time around?
No.
I don't know what Kendall was doing with that quarterback situation anyway. Because the quarterback he was starting most of the season, he's put it on the trade board. He won't that higher level, so I don't know what they're.
Well, he switched it. He switched it halfway. I'm sure he switched the QB halfway through.
Yeah, and then he stuck him in for the playoffs, didn't he?
Yeah, I don't know what
Yeah,
he's doing with
there
it.
was a big switch. I'm sure there was.
The big switch. Yeah, because he started playing this car fella, didn't he?
Yeah, but I don't know why Cole wasn't starting throughout the entire season. Very weird.
He's got leader in playoffs. Resilient, super resilient. So maybe again, do those get postseason?
Doesn't have leader 3. That's a shame.
Resilient.
No.
He's going to miss out, Matt, isn't he?
He is going to miss out. Yeah, you can get knocked out in the semi-finals like I did.
I don't think the QB had much to say about that special teams performance.
That's it. I'll put him on special teams next year.
You can snap the ball.
I'll play him. I can play. I'll play him at all to see if that makes a difference.
I was just having a look to see if Resilient and Resilient 2 had any playoff extras, but they don't. But, you know, leader in playoffs, you don't need the leader 3 with that because it gives you that anyway. So, or the equivalents.
Well,
but yeah, that division are going to be competitive with each other.
Yeah.
There's only 2 teams going to come out of that division, so there's potentially a team there that should be playoff bound, but probably ain't going to be playoff bound.
Yeah.
And then obviously Sonics, don't know whether Tad's going to build on what he's got or whether he feels like he wants to change it up.
It's not put much up for. It's not put much up on the trade board.
No. I think
Couple
he's
of
happy
DNs.
with what he's got.
Couple of DNs and that's about it really. Nothing exciting particularly.
I got an OT off him. So
yeah. Right. So should we call it there? That's been a good little conversation around the draft, I think, and potentially how that top 10 plays out in some of those draft classes that we've seen. Were there any other ones that you wanted to just point out as good or bad?
keep an eye on the returners. They could be the ones who jump into the first round.
Yeah.
What
was defensive ends? Yeah.
There's one that's 65-35, but he's a journeyman, level 7.
D1's better than.
Yeah, because this is the one. Even with this D14 and a bit of Dev Squad, the attributes that one's got as well.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a switch to an OT. You'd want to keep that on a.
Oh, definitely.
On the defensive side.
Tunnel vision. Yeah.
Yeah, because he's got the attributes. You're like, oh, I can put him on Dev Squad, not a problem, because I don't need to play him first season to see if he gets those. So it's not one of those ones you're like, do I do it this season, next season?
And he could. The other thing is he's up for the trophy, the player trophy. So he could he could do a Galloway and gain a couple of extra levels just by the fact that people voted for him because they don't want to vote for the wide
Only
receiver.
one.
Yeah.
Only one level. You
Oh,
only
is
get
it
one level.
Oh, well, I mean, that's
just
better
get
than a
one.
kick in the teeth, isn't it?
You get one.
What was the other one that we didn't look at? So, what was OG's looking like?
Bog standard, nothing special.
Yeah. Top heavy on the strength side of things, and then DTs.
Nothing special again.
Nothing special. And this is
But-
when you go through it, like page
Yeah.
by page, you're like, oh, well, nothing special. I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm kind of seeing what you
OTs.
were saying a little bit.
This looks a little bit better, but then they're all 60s, apart from that level 3. That isn't
I'm
the quality.
struggling to see which position was the blue chip position this year, to be honest. Usually you can see which position it is, but
Yeah,
I've
but
got to actually.
Wouldn't it be wide
Usually-
receiver? If you look at wide receiver on both sides of the ball,
Yeah,
well,
but it's only
both types
wide
of play.
receiver only that because there's been 5 scouted though.
Yeah, but look, no, just look at the QSTs. Don't look at anything else. Just look at the QSTs. Because normally we get quite a few 65, 35s. I suppose there's 2 up the top there, but
Yeah.
all the way down, like
yeah.
even Serpent is decent.
Yeah, 80 level 5, but with the peripheral as well.
And safe hands. Like
I bet he goes in the first.
You reckon?
I wouldn't be surprised. I was looking at him if I didn't get the top
Even
3.
Though he's journeyman, I could see him going in the first.
Yeah, but I mean, I suppose.
Peripheral vision's worth 2 levels.
Good aging as well. He could sneak up 2 levels before you even know it.
I think the only other we didn't really have a little look at was quarterbacks. Again,
I don't think there's really anything.
I personally don't think it's a very good draft. I think you can probably get some nice players. The sweet spot's probably round 3, I would say, this year. Looking at that, you can get some nice level 5, level 6. You probably need to pick up 2 or 3 decent ones with nice QSTs, but
and like I say, if people can hold to the value of the players that are there who've scouted, they're gonna.
They never do that.
Well,
they never
this
do.
is the thing. This is the thing. I think there's a good opportunity this time around for people to just go, I'm just going to let it ride. Because I think a lot of them will maybe come through as journeymen as well. So.
Well, you could have from what up to me. I had 5 players that should have come up this year. I got 2. I had 2 juniors I'd scouted the year before. Neither of them ended up in the draft. And then another one, which was really annoying. So I'll never scout juniors ever again. That's the only time I've ever done it. I'm never going to do it again. I had another player that didn't come up.
Yeah.
To another draft again.
And
the annoying thing with the junior is the league it went to. I think one of them, the league it went to, which was a tight end, didn't have anybody scouting it. So it went to some league that didn't even scout it. So it really pissed me off. That did.
Yeah.
I don't think that should happen. I don't think that should happen.
If no other team had scouted him, he should have ended up in my league.
Nah. Yeah. I had exactly the same thing with last draft, and that was on the basis that it was a centre. It was a centre that landed in the Big Sky. It was a really good QST and elite. And I'm thinking, that would have been the one with that first overall pick. You would have gone. But he landed in there. Nobody scouted it. So it was. It's very disappointing.
If 2 leagues have scouted him, fine, that makes sense. But if no other league scouted him, he should end up in the fucking league he's been scouted.
But you have to balance the player base, like the players. If based on that logic, if all of the elites that came through were only scouted by Atlantic, we'd be saying stick them all in the Atlantic. But we can't have that. That's like that. There has to be a balance across all of the leagues. In fairness,
he won that. a couple of seasons ago when somebody had 12 first round picks. No, we wouldn't have been happy about that. No,
No. So
he might have been.
I get it. I get it in terms of the balance, but I'd argue that there should be, if you put in the effort of scouting, especially juniors, because I've been lucky. The juniors that I've scouted in previous seasons, they've come through in the season that I've been here, which has worked out perfect. But if you scouted, you've gone out of your way, because juniors, you're not expecting them to go that first year, you're not expecting them to declare, but you're playing for the next year, so that you've got that early chance. You've done your research, and if that had happened, I would have been gutted.
But I had a look at this again, because I did have a little look at the chances of this again, and it's this. Where is it? Where it talks about scouting juniors. There are special rules relating to scouting age 3 players. These rules
11.
are.
It's 11. There's a 5% chance that a scouted player will be unsettled by attention of one or more pro league team. The player is unsettled. Is that the one?
That's the normal one. So this bit here is the part around juniors.
Ah, okay, right.
And so there's actually a 15% chance. Okay, so there's special rules for them. Chance of being unsettled increases to 15% if scouted by more than one team. Okay, 15% if it's more than one team.
Okay, which tends to happen with the big players.
There is a 20% chance that an unsettled junior will leave college early and go straight into the next draft. This player will automatically qualify as an elite status.
Ah, okay.
But I've never seen it. I don't think it's happened once at all.
No.
But
Not the ones I've done.
once that chance is gone, then it just defaults into the same position for the same chance as if they're a senior going through. So you don't get any extra additional chance just because they're a junior. If it doesn't go in that junior season, then you've got 5 seniors scouted and it's just treated the same.
I was just going on the theory that I've got 5 players coming into this draft, and out of that, I've got fucking 2, and I'm like, the law of averages, I should have had at least 3.
Yeah. I mean, this is the interesting thing. It's like there's this 5% chance. Yeah, the scouted player will be unsettled by the attention of more than one pro. Of one or more pro leagues team. If a player is unsettled, the automatic +2 improvement replaced by a minus level. Now that's not the one I'm thinking about, is it?
No.
No, it's you've basically got a 1 in 3 chance, isn't it? It's something like 33%. If you're the first one scouted, you've got almost
it's
30%.
Is it number 7? There's a 66% chance a player will go to the league of the scouting team. Any team with a front office manager will have this chance increased by twice the front office managers. Well, I didn't know that about the front office manager. I should get front office managers in, really.
There isn't many of them.
So you got.
Oh, that's the problem. They don't exist.
So you got 1 in 3. You got 1 in 3 chance that it won't end up.
Yeah.
In your league.
But it doesn't feel like that.
Not a lot.
In Matt's case.
It didn't this year. It didn't with the juniors. It's the fact I'd never scouted juniors before, and then neither of them appeared. It really annoyed me. Especially the tight end. I understood the receiver because that had been scouted by that other league that got him, but the tight end really pissed me off. Because it not being scouted, and it was a strong tight end, so it was a fucking rare tight end. It was perfect.
Yeah. Well, let's end on that good news for the rest of the Atlantic, and we'll end it there. Thanks for your time, Alex. Really appreciate it. Thanks, Matt.
For having me.
And hopefully we'll have Jez back at some point when he's fit and well.
Bring back Jez, I say. I'm not a good enough replacement.
None of that negativity. You can't tell Matt. Don't be
Matt's rubbed
negative,
off on
give
me,
it that.
so
Yeah.
it's,
No,
this arrogant negativity is just it's destroyed me.
it's your fault, Matt. Anyway,
I just like being the pantomime villain. Somebody has to hate me, so it's not good.
you're doing it.
They're queuing up in our league, Matt.
You're doing a fine
Exactly.
job, Matt.
Exactly.
Right. See you later.
Take care.
Might see you at the draft. When is it?
3 weeks, 2 weeks, 17 days and a bit.